Welcome to DC Coin World International Coin Channel. Today we're going to take a look at the 1960 United Kingdom coin collection. And we have all kinds here. We have half pennies and half crowns and 3 pence and 6 pence and shillings and 2 shillings. And we're just going to go through them, and we'll probably just start going from the lowest to the highest. And the first thing I want to get out of the way, of course, is that um, there are some coins that aren't part of the 1960 coin collection, and this is one of them. And if you look at this one's you can tell has been made into like a necklace or a bracelet piece, and it is the 1954 1 farthing coin. And why am I showing you the 1954 farthing coin? Because they didn't make it after 1954. So if you're looking for a farthing from 1960, you won't find it. And of course, by 1960, when we have this little farthing coin that's worth 1/960th of a pound, so there's almost 1,000 of these to a pound, it just didn't have much value. But let's go to the halfpenny, and this is just a beauty. Um, it's the Sir Francis Drake Golden Hind halfpenny. You can see it says 1960 at the bottom. Now way over here, you might be able to see these initials, and that's an H and a P, and the engraver of this particular coin was Thomas Humphrey Paget. You can see the Union Jack flying. It says half in words, in letters, penny, 1960. It has this kind of geared edge. If we tip it up, we see that it is smooth rim, and there she is, the Mary Gillick first portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. It says Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen and Defender of the Faith. In this coin, this halfpenny coin was made from 1954 until 1970. Of course, the 1970 half pennies, they weren't really distributed very much. They only made 750,000 in a proof version. So the last year that they really made this for general circulation, the halfpenny, was 1967, when they made 146,500 million of them. Now, not thousand, million. In 1960, they didn't make many, though. They only made 41.34 million of these. Next up is the penny. And guess what? I'm looking through my collection, and I can't find a 1960 penny. For some reason, I just did not have one, so I'm showing you the 62, which is the same thing, except it says 62 here instead of 60. It says 1 in penny, and you can see it's a seated Britannia. She has a trident and a shield, the Union Jack shield, a lighthouse behind her, and this is the version with no ship on the horizon. This is a pearled outer rim, again smooth, and again the Mary Gillick half first portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. Now, this coin was made from 1954 to 1970 also. It's bronze, and it's a huge coin, 9.45 grams. Charles Walter Coombs actually did the back here, but we do not have any initials. And this coin has had Britannia on it since since Queen Victoria, Queen Elizabeth's great-great-grandmother. Now, in 1960, they made none of these coins, and that's why I don't have one. In 1962, they made 157.5 million. So if you're looking for the 1960 version of this coin, you're not going to find it because they didn't make it. They made one in 1954, and they made 48.3 million in 61, 157.5 million in 62. So they didn't really make them. They just kind of kept the old ones. So no 1 pennies from 1960, so this is a 62. Now, they don't have any 2 pence coins at that point. They go straight to 3 pence. And this is, of course, the 3 pence coin. And you notice it's a somewhat different material. It's a nickel brass instead of a bronze. And of course, the front is the Mary Gillick portrait again, the first portrait of Queen Elizabeth. The back is this crowned portcullis. There's a crown over the top of this, and you can see the fleur-de-lis and the cross going across. Then it says 3, THREE on one side, pence on the other side, and then way down in here between the spikes of the gate or the portcullis is a W and a G, and that's for William Maving Gardner, who was the engraver of this coin. And then down at the bottom we see it says 1960. And you can tell just by looking at it, it's not a round coin, it's dodecagonal. And so if we count, we see that it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 sides, or a dodecagon. And this coin is worth 3 pence, and in terms of a pound, it's worth 1/80th of a pound. So even when we get to these coins, this coin, there was 80 of these to a pound in 1960, to a pound sterling. Next, after the 3 pence, we don't have a 5 pence. That didn't come until decimalization. So we have a 6 pence, a 3 pence, and a 6 pence. And what's interesting is, of course, the 6 pence was worth 5 pence after decimalization. And the 6 pence actually stuck around for long after the other ones. Most of these other coins that we just saw, they didn't use them after 1971, but the 6 pence, because people loved it so much, they used this coin after decimalization until June 30th, 1980. If we look here, we see an EF for one of the designers, that's Edgar Fuller, and a CT here, and that's Cecil Thomas over here. EF and Cecil Thomas. And then this coin, it just has a wonderful engraving on it. It says Fid Def at the top, in other words, Defender of the Faith, 6 pence, 1960, and we have a Tudor rose, a Scottish thistle, a Welsh leek, and an Irish shamrock or Northern Ireland shamrock, all on this coin with the toothed or geared outer rim. And then we see this is the first of the coins that we have from 1960 that have the reeded rim on it. If we tip it over, we see it says Elizabeth II, Dea Gratia, Regina. And what they've done is they've taken off Defender of the Faith, which is on the other coins, and they've put it, of course, on the back, Fid Def. So I just want to show you what I mean by that. So on these earlier coins, what they had was FD for the Defender of the Faith. Let's see if we can get a better light on that. FD, they'd taken the Defender of the Faith off and actually made it longer and said Fid Def here. So that's the 6 pence. From the 6 pence, we make a bit of a jump, and that is to the 1 shilling. But again, you need to remember that in 1960, we had 2 versions of the 1 shilling. We had the English version, which you see here. Of course, Mary Gillick portrait on the front. Same, the second portrait. The reeded rim. And then it says 19 on one side of the shield, 60 on the other. And when I say they had 2 different coins, what do I mean by that? Well, what I mean is that, well, it says Fid Def. It says 19 on one side of the shield, 60 on the other. It's a crowned shield. But this particular coin is called the English version. And the reason it's called the English version is because they also had a Scottish version of the coin. And you can see when we put them kind of overlapping, the Scottish version has a standing lion on it. Same thing, Fid Def, 1 shilling, 1960. But we see that it has 3 lions lying down here, or what they sometimes call the lion supine, or lying down. And this one, the lion standing. And the lion standing was the Scottish version, and the 3 lions lying down was the English version. Both of these weigh 5.66 grams, and they're a copper nickel. In both of them, the engraver was William Maving Gardner. He did not put his M on, but you can see here that he put the W here. Can you see that okay? And the G here for William Maving Gardner. That is a G there. And then on this one, we can see the W and the G also for William Maving Gardner. A toothed outer rim, and then a reeded rim from there. And from the 1 shilling, we jump straight up to 2 shillings. And the 2 shillings is quite a bit bigger. There is, and I see that the 1 shilling was also called a bob, apparently, from one of our viewers. And the 2 shillings coin, the 1960, looks very similar to another coin we just did. Not the 1 shilling, but the 6 pence. And I'll show you why it looks so similar when we magnify it a little bit. And you see right here, what do we got? E, F, and C, T. So Edgar Fuller and Cecil Thomas not only did the 6 pence coin, and let's find their initials on here, if we can find them again, is the E, F, and C, T, and they did the 2 shillings coin. And again, same kind of um, marks on here. Fid Def is a Tudor rose here, and then what they've done is around the outside they put the other country symbols. So here is the Scottish thistles, and then here is Welsh, the Welsh leeks kind of go there, and then there's the Northern Irish or Irish shamrocks going around the outside. Again, a toothed rim, and again a reeded edge, and again the Mary Gillick portrait. Now, here's the deal. There were also larger coins than the 2 shilling, and larger than the 2 shilling was the half crown. Now, unfortunately, I do not have a half crown from 1960, but they did make the half crown in 1960. They made about almost 20 million of them. And this is what the half crown looks like. This is a 67, but it had the same design as 60. Fid Def here, a crown shield. And this, I didn't want to skip it even though I didn't have one, because I wanted to show you, again, we have the 3 lions lying down for England. We have the lions standing for Scotland. We have the harp in this one for Ireland, or Northern Ireland, and we don't have anything for Wales on this particular coin, on the half crown. This is a huge, heavy coin. It weighs 14.14 grams. Mary Gillick did the front, and then guess who did the back? Well, you can kind of tell a little bit because of this styling, but it is actually Edgar Fuller and Cecil Thomas, the EF and CT, on the back of this coin. This coin was worth 1/8 of a British pound. And in 1960, they also did have a crown, but the crown was a specialty coin in 1960. It was only a commemorative coin. It wasn't issued for general circulation. And the 1960 crown commemorated the British exhibition in New York. So in New York City, they had the British exhibition. I think the British Museum sent over a bunch of stuff, and it was shown in New York City. And so 1960, there is a crown. It's incredibly rare, and it commemorates the British exhibition in New York. All right, I think that's about all we have today for this 1960 coin collection. I'm going to throw the farthing back in there because I just love that little bird. But again, 1960 didn't have the farthing. They only had the halfpenny, the penny, the 3 pence, 6 pence, 2 different 1 shillings, the 2 shilling, the half crown, and the commemorative crown. Have a great day from DC Coin World International Coin Channel. We'd love to have you subscribe to our channel and leave any comments you might have in the comments section.